Hi there, this is Stargazer, and today I'm reviewing Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes was released in 2004 for the Nintendo GameCube, only 2 years after Metroid Prime. The quick development time was helped by the solid foundation the original set in place. Prime 2 is by no means a sequel that does everything the first game did. It is very original in its gameplay and story while being very much its own entry. That being said, I do think Prime 2 falls slightly behind what made the first Prime game so enjoyable. Metroid Prime 2 is an extremely well-made game with tight controls, physics, and level design. But what holds it back slightly is its insanely high level of difficulty. Prime 2 is a lot more difficult than the first Prime game in every way. Combat, exploration, and game design are on another level. Now that being said, if you are looking for a challenging Metroid game and one of Nintendo's toughest games of all time, this is for you. And like I said, there is nothing inherently poorly designed or cheap in this game. So getting good and overcoming the game's obstacles is definitely a reality. And throughout my playthrough, when I accomplished something difficult, this Metroid title gave me the best sense of accomplishment. Now, with that covered, let's talk about some specific aspects of the gameplay I particularly enjoyed. Firstly, what stood out to me most is how much this game utilizes Samus's Morph Ball in so many creative ways the series really hasn't seen since. One place was in many of the boss battles, which I thought was really clever. Quadraxis and the Emperor Ing fight stand out as some of the best bosses in the series. The game is also split into a light world and dark world where Samus must travel back and forth to progress. Now the dark world is almost identical to the light world, so if you were expecting A Link to the Past level of differentiation, unfortunately that's not the case. I can't say that I love the dark world sections considering it is more difficult to discern where you are going, and for the majority of the game you take damage just being there. Beyond the Dark World, the Light World provides some of the coolest areas the franchise has seen, with original designs that stand out from the standard Metroid environments. All in all, the gameplay of Prime 2 is one of the most solid on the GameCube system and adds new ideas that keep the game engaging. Metroid Prime 2 continues the stunning atmospheric storytelling of the first installment, and even adds more cutscenes, characters, and enemies. The game has you following Dark Samus around the planet Aether, and allows you to battle her on multiple occasions, which really fuels the rivalry between the two. The game also introduces a new alien species with the Luminoth, which are big moth-like creatures that are similar to the Chozo. Having the Luminoth, Umos, to interact with throughout the game doesn't take away from the game's isolating themes, but gives Samus a more visceral motivation in this title. I appreciate that Retro Studios was more daring with the cutscenes and story of this game, while staying true to the isolating themes of the Metroid series. The biggest credit I can give Metroid Prime 2 is that it is not a run-of-the-mill sequel that does basically everything the first game did. It stands wholly on its own and provides its own level of challenge and design different from any Metroid title. This entry is one I look forward to replaying and getting better and better at as time goes on. Thank you for watching, and good luck completing your next mission.